Hi guys, this is the Python series part 20. In this session, we will discuss about the types of arguments in the function definition. There are two types of arguments. The first one is default arguments. The second one is the variable length arguments. In this session, we will discuss about the default arguments. What is default arguments? Python allows us to initialize the arguments at the function definition. Okay, if the value of any of the arguments is not provided at the time of function call, then that argument value can be initialized with the value given in the function definition. I repeat it again. Python allows us to initialize the arguments at the function definition. Okay, if the value of any of the arguments is not provided at the time of a function call, then that value can be initialized with the value given in the function definition. Okay, let's see this example. Here I have created the display user-defined function. And inside this display function, I have the country argument. And I have given the value Africa to the country. So this value is the default value. Okay, and inside this display method, I have used the print method to print the country on my console. And I have created three call statements for the same definition part. Okay, after encounter this statement, what will happen? The control carries India and jumps from the fourth line to the second line. Here, the India only will be stored inside the country. Okay, so this Africa won't be used because here we have the value inside the call statement. So this India only will be stored inside the country. This Africa won't be stored inside the country. So what is the output for this call statement? India. After then the control jumps from the third line to the fifth line. Here we have America. Now the control carries America. That value only will be stored inside the country. The Africa won't be stored inside the country. Okay, so the America only will be printed on our console. After then the control jumps from the third line to the sixth line. In this statement, I didn't have any argument value. Okay, this is also the call statement, but here there is no argument value. So now what will happen? The control jumps from the sixth line to the second line. Now only this Africa will be stored inside the country. Okay, so if the value of the argument is not provided at the time of the call statement, then only the value of the argument can be initialized with the value given in the definition. Okay, so this is called the default argument. Okay, now let me execute this one. Here, this is the call statement. This is the output for this call statement, and this is the output for this call statement, and this is the output for this call statement. Okay. If the value is not provided at the time of the call statement only, the value of the argument can be initialized with the value given in the definition. That's why we got Africa here. Okay. So, if I am not give any default value here, means what will happen? Actually, fourth and fifth statements won't give any errors because here we have the values. But the sixth call statement didn't have any values. And also here there is no default value. So we will get the error for this statement. Okay, so in order to avoid this type of errors, we can use this type of default arguments. Okay, let me execute this one. Now here India is printed, America is printed, but here there is no value for this argument. That's why we got this error. Display missing one required positional argument country. But if I use the default value for this country means we won't get any errors. Am I correct? So now I give Africa here means this error will be gone. Okay, actually here there is no value, but here we have the default value. So if we don't provide any value for the call statement means the default value will be executed. Okay, if I am not give this default value here means we got this type of error only. Got it? Let me execute again. Now the error is not present. See this example. Here I have created one user-defined function display and I have two arguments x and y, and also I have given the default values for x and y arguments. Okay, so x value is 10 and y value is 12. So these values are the default values for x and y respectively. Okay, and what is the role of this display? It simply prints the x and y value on our console. And here I have created 3 call statements. So fifth statement holds a single argument value. Sixth call statement holds 2 argument values. The seventh call statement holds nothing. Okay, so what will happen? After encounter this line, the control carries 22 and jumps from the fifth line to the second line. Okay, here we have the default values, but 22 will be stored inside the x, because here we have the value for x. So this 10 won't be stored inside the x, this 22 only will be stored inside the x variable. But here there is no value for y argument. So what will happen? This default value will be stored inside the y. Okay, and the sixth statement I have 2 argument values. So the 100 will be stored inside the x variable and 20 will be stored inside the y variable. So the default values won't be stored. The values from the call statement only will be stored. Okay, and here 7th statement, no values for x and y. Then what will happen? The default values only will be executed for x and y values. Got it? Let me execute this. Here, this is the output for 5th statement, 22 x value, but here there is no y value. That's why the default value is printed here. And here we have values for x and y. So the values from call statement is printed 100 and 20, not the default values. But here there is no x and y values. So what will happen? The default values 10 and 12 is printed. Got it? I hope you all understood about what is default argument and why we need this type of default arguments. Why we need? Sometimes we won't give any values to the arguments. At that time, if we provide the default values means we won't get any errors. Otherwise, we will get the errors. Okay, that's why we need the default arguments. We have completed this session. If you have any doubts, drop the message on the comment section. If this video is useful to you, like and share. For more videos, subscribe my channel. Hit the bell icon, then only you will get the notification for my new updates. Have a nice day. Thank you.